As we practice temperance in today's world of constant noise, distractions, and incessant demands on our attention, we can find ourselves craving the next virtue, silence. Silence often seems elusive, perhaps even an indulgence. But as Franklin recognized, silence is not a luxury, it's a necessity. The 18th century, too, navigated an array of distractions, societal expectations, and the tumult of city life. Franklin's solution? Silence. Not merely as the void of noise, but as an act of presence, a space for introspection, growth, and improved communication. Franklin employed silence as a tool to enhance thinking, encourage personal development, and facilitate effective communication. As we flash forward to our modern, digitized world, the importance of silence finds itself increasingly recognized and sought after. This is evident in the plethora of mindfulness apps on our devices, urging us to take a pause, breathe, and detach from the digital clamor to reconnect with our inner thoughts. It's reflected in the Do Not Disturb features that shield us from the ceaseless stream of notifications, and in the rising popularity of silent retreats that offer sanctuaries from our hyper-connected culture. Yet this is not about escaping the world's noise, but about navigating it more skillfully. It's about acknowledging that within silence lies a valuable resource that can help us become better listeners, clear-headed thinkers, and more effective communicators. This module invites you on a journey to explore and understand the virtue of silence, a virtue that was significant in Franklin's life and remains incredibly relevant to our own. This journey isn't solely about quieting the noise around us. It's more about tuning into the silence within us, the silence that can guide us towards a more mindful, thoughtful, and fulfilling existence. Throughout this module, we'll delve into how this seemingly simplistic virtue can help us lead lives marked by greater self-awareness, improved communication, and enhanced mental health.
Dear esteemed reader, being your humble servant, I find it incumbent upon myself to address the virtue of silence, particularly as it pertains to your modern world, a world vastly different from mine, yet governed by the same immutable laws of human nature. In this age of constant communication, where a whisper can echo around the world in the blink of an eye, silence, I perceive, has become a rare commodity. One finds it rather ironic that in a world constantly striving for connection, we often find ourselves adrift amidst a tumultuous sea of incessant chatter, digital tirades, and hollow soliloquies. You may recall, my dear reader, my once penning the counsel, speak not, but what may benefit others or yourself. Avoid trifling conversation. Today, I find this advice, one among my precious 13 virtues, more relevant than ever. You see, silence is not merely the absence of sound, nor an ode to solitude. It is an invitation to introspection, a gateway to mindfulness, and a companion of wisdom. In silence, we find the space to listen, not just to others, but also to the soft whispers of our own hearts. Silence can help us tune out the needless noise, allowing us to focus our energies on what truly matters. Silence, I dare say, might even be more potent in your time than in mine. It can serve as a shield, protecting you from the barrage of information that threatens to overwhelm your senses. It can serve as a sword, cutting through the chaos, revealing the essence of truth. Yet, dear reader, I urge you not to misconstrue my words. I'm not advising you to retreat into an ivory tower of silence. Indeed, the human creature is a social being, and communication is the lifeblood of society. But I urge you to be intentional in your speech, to choose your words with care, to listen more than you speak, and to cherish the silent moments as you would a precious gem. Silence, like all virtues, requires practice, and to this end, I encourage you to create spaces of silence in your day, be it in the tranquil dawn, the peaceful twilight, or the solitary moments in between. Remember, silence is not about shunning the world, but about understanding it and yourself better. As the clamor of the world grows, let your mind find respite in silence, and in doing so, may you discover the wisdom that lies therein. Yours in humble silence. Benjamin Franklin.
Franklin viewed silence not as a passive act, but as an active, conscious practice with significant benefits for both personal development and interpersonal communication. He appreciated the tranquility that silence provides, viewing it as a safe haven where one could retreat to ruminate on thoughts and ideas without the incessant interruptions of the outside world. This practice gave him space to think deeply, encouraging creativity, problem-solving, and profound understanding. When Franklin arrived in France in 1776, he was serving as a diplomat during the American Revolution. He found himself in a society that greatly valued wit, eloquence, and persuasive speech. As one of the American representatives, he was often expected to engage in verbal battles and quick exchanges of wit. However, Franklin often stood out for his silence and thoughtful conversation. Rather than engaging in superficial chatter or attempting to outwit others with eloquence, he chose his words carefully and spoke only when he believed he could contribute something valuable or insightful. This often led him to saying less than others, but what he did say often had a greater impact. Franklin's silence did not mean he was disengaged or uninvolved. Instead, it allowed him to listen attentively, reflect on the issues at hand, and respond with thoughtful, measured words. His quiet wisdom often carried more weight than the most eloquent speeches of his peers. In this way, Franklin used silence as a tool for diplomacy and communication, demonstrating that carefully chosen words can often be more powerful than many. This approach to silence and thoughtful conversation contributed to Franklin's success as a diplomat. He won the respect of his French counterparts, and his diplomacy played a key role in securing French support during the Revolution. In addition, silence aided Franklin in cultivating self-awareness. By deliberately creating quiet spaces in his life, he was able to turn his attention inward, reflecting on his experiences, beliefs, and emotions. This internal silence helped him to gain a deeper understanding of himself and his place in the world, bolstering his self-confidence and resilience. Franklin's utilization of silence as a virtue provides us with a timeless lesson on the significance of incorporating silence into our lives. His practice illustrates that silence can be an active, purposeful endeavor that fuels personal growth, enhances communication, and fosters self-awareness and empathy. The virtue of silence is not just a philosophical concept. It holds substantial implications for our personal growth and mental health. With an ever-increasing pace of life and an overload of digital stimulation, silence has emerged as a powerful antidote to the distractions and stress that accompany modern life. One significant advantage of embracing silence is the enhancement of focus and productivity. As Franklin cultivated his self-awareness through his deliberate periods of silence, we too can become more mindful. When we are continuously distracted by external noise, our attention becomes divided, impairing our ability to concentrate on essential tasks. Numerous scientific studies suggest that periods of silence can help to counter this issue by providing an environment free from distractions, thus promoting deep concentration and enhancing productivity. Silence also proves beneficial in alleviating anxiety and stress. According to mental health research, quiet reflection allows the mind to unwind, process experiences, and regulate emotions. These silent moments of introspection act as a form of mental rejuvenation, helping us to lower stress levels and enhance overall well-being. Moreover, cultivating silence can improve our listening skills and foster empathy. When we make an effort to speak less and listen more, we develop a deeper understanding of others' perspectives. This ability to tune into others' thoughts and feelings not only improves our relationships, but also fosters empathy, a key ingredient in building strong, meaningful connections. Furthermore, the practice of silence can be instrumental in aligning our actions with our values and priorities. In a world that often encourages immediate reactions, taking a moment of silence before responding to situations allows us to act thoughtfully. This practice gives us the opportunity to weigh the potential consequences of our actions and make decisions that reflect our true values and priorities. In summary, cultivating the virtue of silence offers numerous benefits for our personal growth and mental health. By reducing distractions, it enhances our focus and productivity. By promoting reflection, it aids in stress management. By improving our listening skills, it fosters empathy. And by giving us a moment to pause, it helps us align our actions with our values. Embracing the virtue of silence is a practical endeavor, requiring commitment and a willingness to adjust habits. On your virtues chart, track your practice of silence each day this week. Ask your daily questions of what good shall I do this day in the morning, and what good have I done today in the evenings. Note in your journal how the practice feels. Reflect on any challenges. Here are some ways to practice silence in your daily life. Choose one to practice for this week. This offers a valuable method to start the day with a period of silence. It sets a calm and focused tone for the day, allowing for better decision-making and productivity. Consider dedicating the first 10 minutes of your morning to sitting in silence, letting your thoughts pass without judgment, and focusing solely on your breath. This daily practice can bring about noticeable changes in your mental clarity and emotional balance. You can do this during your breaks or before embarking on significant tasks. A minute or two of silence can help reset your mind, provide a fresh perspective, and increase focus. Additionally, try to incorporate silence into your walks in nature or any quiet environment. The combination of silence and nature can be a potent tool for mental rejuvenation. Here are some examples. Silent commute. Use your commute time for silence. Switch off music or podcasts and use this quiet period to gather your thoughts for the day ahead. Silent meals. Choose one meal each day to eat in silence. Experience the food fully and use this time for reflection. Nature walks. Embark on a silent walk in nature, observing the world around you without the distractions of conversation or devices. Silent hour before bed. Dedicate the last hour before sleep to silence. This could involve reading, meditating, or simply relaxing. Intentional communication requires us to think before we speak. Consider the purpose and impact of our words and ensure they add value to the conversation. Avoiding unproductive discussions and gossip can help in reducing mental clutter and fostering meaningful conversations. Understanding the benefits of silence for mental health can encourage its regular practice. Silence can reduce stress, increase self-awareness, and improve relationships. As we allow our mind to rest and become more comfortable with silence, we improve our mental well-being and quality of life.